Yes, fellas, what going on? It's been a while, but we're back with the videos today. We have huge breaking news. First of all, Francis Ngannou has left the UFC officially, and he has been stripped of the heavyweight championship of the world. And as a result of that, we have a banging fight coming up on the 4th of March between Jon Jones and Cyril Gane. So we talk about this a little bit. Of course, I'm joined by Rajiv as always. Rajiv, what's up?
Yeah, what's up? What's up? Some big developments in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, so talk to me about it. What's going on with Francis?
To be honest with you, I'm conflicted on what Francis did because for the past year he sat out after his title defense against Cyril Gane. Sat out with an injury. The UFC wanted him to come back and fight in December. He said he wouldn't be ready at that time. Same sort of situation like before, except he was at the end of his contract. The UFC was trying to renegotiate, and after about a year of negotiations, or maybe a few months because they didn't really give a time period, Francis is out and we have a vacant heavyweight title, and kind of conflicting, kind of sad because on one hand you want Francis Ngannou to get paid, you want better treatment for fighters, pay, insurance, whatever, and at the same time you're looking at Francis, like the amount of money they were offering him, I believe 8 million
Per
plus
fight.
pay-per-view
Yeah, perfect.
for the Jon Jones fight. So it's like
But I think
I don't-
too with Francis,
I don't know how I feel about it.
it was I think it was more about the money with Francis. It was about him wanting to be free and him being able to make his own decisions. And you look at from where he came from, he knows what it's like to not have any freedom. Obviously growing up in Cameroon and then escaping Cameroon to go to France, living on the streets. And then obviously his dream was to box. And then his coach, I forget his name, Fernando Lopez, I think, got him into MMA. So he never got to do his dream of boxing, but he did MMA. And I think Ariel won. He said it the best. That's the one itch he never got to scratch was boxing, and that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to have the freedom of choice to do what he wanted. So it wasn't just about the money for Francis, and him and the UFC just couldn't come to an agreement with that, which is kind of unfair on because McGregor went and boxed Floyd. I understand where the UFC is coming from. At the same time, if he loses to Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder, it's gonna look bad on them. There's a huge chance he could get injured in the fight leading up in training camp. He could get injured in the fight. So there are a lot of risks from the UFC side, which I understand. But I mean, they just couldn't come to agreement. That's really what it is at the end of the day. It's business.
I think
deals don't work out sometimes. What's up?
You think maybe it's because, like I said, you mentioned the boxing, right? You think it's maybe the UFC don't want him to get, I don't want to say they don't want him to get a PD, but look at the McGregor situation. He made $150 million, sat out for a few years, maybe it's they don't want that. They don't want the heavyweight title.
It could
I don't know, to be up in the air, I guess.
It could be like that, but at the same time too. Again, referencing Ariel Helwani. I don't know if you watched the interview. Not the interview. Well, the interview.
Yeah, I did.
And then he spoke about it the Monday too, where he showed you like an entire timeline going back to early 2020, where Francis and Jon Jones were always going back and forth about this fight. So it's not that Francis didn't want the fight, and he, like Dana White said, he wants to fight less people for more money or whatever it was. It's not that Francis wanted the fight, but he wanted, like I said, money. But it was more about the money. He wanted insurance for everybody, and he wanted freedom, which I think was the big thing. I know, fair play to Francis Ngannou. He stuck by his guns. He betted on himself to be the biggest gamble all the time last January, and it worked out.
Yeah.
It all blew up in Dana's face, and we're really about to see if Francis goes to another MMA promotion, the PFL, Bellator, or BKFC. We're really about to see who's really the number one UFC promotion, so MMA promotion. So it's gonna be very interesting, and all eyes are on Francis because he controls his destiny. And I believe, no matter what happens in March, which we'll get to just now, he is the heavyweight champion until he loses, and that's just how I see it.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I'll get back to that in a bit, but for Francis, he said it's not about the money, and I agree with that. the thing I didn't like, though, and you mentioned it earlier, was what Dana White's the narrative that Dana White tried to create and say, oh, Francis was ducking John Jones, he didn't want the fight, he wanted ridiculous demands. When you look at the demands that he was making, it wasn't ridiculous. If you think about it, as fighters at the end of the day, as professional athletes at the end of the day, so like to have some sort of security, some sort of safety, insurance, whatever it is, he wanted sponsorship. Sponsorships was that big thing
back in the
day. Earlier on in the UFC, and then with the Reebok deal that killed it, and now they have the Venom deal. They still allow certain sponsors like Monster and stuff, but those are UFC sponsors at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's like I could see Francis side as well wanting more freedom than what the UFC currently offers.
Exactly.
And
go back to the point you said about Dana White spinning narratives. I don't know if you remember a few months ago when somebody asked him about same John Jones at the press conference. He was talking about John Jones wants a ridiculous amount of money. He said he wants to be paid as much as Tyson Fury did, and this was right after the trilogy with Deontay Wilder. And so it's just fun to see how the script has flipped based on who keeps Dana White happy. John Jones signed his contract. Oh yeah, John Jones is a good guy. He's willing to fight anybody at any price. Doesn't care. But a few months ago, it was all John Jones' fault. He wanted too much money. So it's just funny how Dana White tried to spin the narrative. He tried to do the same thing with Nate Diaz when he was being fed to Hamzat, but again didn't work. Blew up in Dana's face. Same situation here, and Dana's just trying to save face by saying
I agree.
Francis wants more money for lesser competition. Like if he goes out there and he fights fucking Tyson Fury, that's not less competition. Like yes, John Jones probably the best small MMA fighter of all time, but Tyson Fury is the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world in boxing. And if that fight happens, many people would put Francis as the underdog in that fight. So I don't understand how that could even work out.
I saw something about the boxing as well. It said that if they do make that fight, it wouldn't be a sanctioned fight. It would be like an exhibition. And what you were saying about the boxing, where people are saying that it wouldn't be an actual fight. It would be an exhibition, and I'm not sure how that would, because I remember for the McGregor Mayweather fight, it was a sanctioned fight. It was
and you look at all the fucking you look at Jake Paul and all KSI and all those. They are getting sanctioned fights. Those are professional boxing fights taking place. So I think it would be sanctioned. I don't see a reason for it not to be sanctioned in this day and age.
And to your point, so one more point about the boxing. I think if Francis Ngannou goes and boxes Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Usyk, whoever he wants to box, whoever he ends up boxing, no matter what, if he wins, I mean, you can see what that will do for his career in boxing, for his career in general, outside of boxing, martial arts, whatever.
Yeah, if he
loses, I don't think it hurts him at all, because at the end of the day, he's not. This is his first professional fight.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Francis took the biggest gamble on himself, and it worked out. And if he goes out there in his boxing debut and beats Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, any one of those guys, that is legacy cementing shit, dog. And I think Francis did leave the door open for him to potentially return to the UFC eventually. But I don't know if that relationship is beyond repairing. But fair play to Francis. He bettered himself. It worked out, and he controls his fate now. Something a lot of people in the combat world do not have.
Yeah, I agree. I think regardless of what happens with Francis, I think it's a good move for the rest of fighters involved in the sport.
Yeah, he's kind of
more benefits for them.
Yeah, he's kind of showing them, like what you could do if you believe in. I think he had a really good quote on. He's like, you never underestimate somebody with the power, hope, or something like that. And that's exactly, and he's like kind of living proof of that, He beat all the odds. He got out, and now he can do whatever he wants. But just to wrap up on Francis there, fair play, Francis. You won. You got out. Do what you want. Make your fuck ton of money. Go box, and enjoy the rest of your life. Though he is the scariest fucking man on the planet, the baddest motherfucker on the planet. But they kind of give out the title of baddest motherfucker, even though it's Street Jesus technically has the belt. But the man who really is the baddest motherfucker is the heavyweight champion of the world, and it's currently vacant in the UFC world. And 2 guys are gonna compete for it on the 4th of March. That is Cyril Gane and the return of John Jones. Talk to me about that.
This is a fight that I personally, I know a lot of MMA fans wanted Jones and Ngannou.
Mm-hmm.
I also wanted that fight, but I feel like this is a way better fight in terms of skills, in terms of, like, look how similar these two fighters are. I think they're almost equal. The thing is, we never seen John Jones at heavyweight. We never seen how he moves. We never seen how those 3 years or 2.5 years or whatever it is,
It'll be 3
how
years
it's
by
going
the
to affect
time.
him.
It'll be over 3 years by the time he fights. I think he last fought in February 2020. So it'll be over 3 years.
Right. So we'll see how that affects him. But, like, it's also with Cyril Gane, I think he is the most skilled heavyweight, even in front of Francis. Francis has the equalizer, though, in terms of the knockout power, but skill-wise, I really do believe Cyril Gane is top of the food chain when it comes to heavyweight martial arts. So I know in John Jones' track record as well, they're going to be pretty exciting fight, I think it'll be.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think out of the 3 possible opponents for John Jones to take on heavyweight, there was a lot to talk about him fighting Stipe, of course Francis and Cyril, and I have to agree with you. I think this is the most entertaining fight we could have got out of the 3 guys. I think he very easily beats Stipe. Stipe is old. He's been out of the cage for God knows how long now. Francis, I could see a world where he beat Francis, but Cyril is by far and away the most competitive fight is for him. And yeah, like you said, he's most skilled heavyweight, that being Cyril. He moves like a guy in middleweight or something, just because of how slick and how fast he moves. His striking is incredible. Look back at the Tai Tuivasa faster fight, the fight he had with Francis last year. It's all incredible all around. And the only real blender he had was when Francis took him down, I believe in the 3rd round, and out wrestled him really. And then when he got dropped by the by the right hook from Tai. But other than that, he's had a flawless rise so far in the UFC, and I think this is a good fight. But
yeah, I'm excited for this fight. I think I'm leaning towards Cyril Gane for this fight, but, like, I also, I'm leaning towards John Jones, because it's like you want that return to be, like, incredibly special. You also want it to be just being an MMA fan. You want to see John Jones win. But
don't know about that. Don't know about that.
I'll speak on behalf of myself as an MMA fan. I want to see John Jones win, but Cyril Gane has become one of my most favorite fighters in the past few years.
Me too. I used to hate him, but now I love him. And
yeah.
And like I said too.
To wrap up on this?
Yeah.
I was going to wrap up on this. It's like it's almost an identical fight, and Cyril Gane, literally, I think he moves like a heavyweight version of Israel Adesanya. And John Jones has these long limbs. DC talked about his kicks a lot. Oh, he's very stationary, but those kicks can keep you back.
Yeah.
So it'll be an interesting matchup, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. And just going back to what you said earlier to wrap up on this, John Jones has been out of the cage for so long. We don't know how he's gonna look at heavyweight. Carrying around all that extra weight and muscle and size, it could have an effect on the gas tank, and yeah, the ring rust is a real thing. So we'll just really see how it plays out come the 4th of March. For wrap up, quick 5 predictions. What are you thinking?
No. I hear these 5 predictions. You know what? Fuck it. John Jones.
5?
John Jones' decision.
I'm saying a TKO in the 4th round for Cyril. I don't think he'll be flatline. I just think he'll just be like relentless, like punching on ground and pound or something. Yeah, where the ref has to step in. I don't think it's gonna be like a flatline situation, but that's how I see it ending.
Okay, that's a fair prediction. I wanted to say something similar to that, but like I can't imagine John Jones going out like that. So I'll stick to John Jones' decision.
I could see it, but yeah, hey, there's so much shit going on in the UFC. Of course, we have the pay-per-view this weekend. Be on the lookout for the video coming soon with that. We of course have Volkan Islam coming up in February as well. This fight in March, and then 2 weeks later we have I kind of got swept under the rug with all the crazy news in the heavyweight scene. But we have the 3rd trilogy of Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards to look forward to as well. We didn't get to talk
Wait,
about
is this
too
in
much.
March?
What's up? Yeah, that's in March.
This is in March?
Yeah, it's 2 weeks
Okay.
after. That Cyril is the 4th, and they're the 18th.
Right.
If my math's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So great stuff coming for the MMA world. We didn't get to talk too much about Usman and Edwards, but we'll have our own separate dedicated video to that. But like with that being said, guys, it's been your boy Chefs and Rajiv. See you later.
Yeah. Peace.